Welcome to Mornings with Matt. Some quick thoughts to start your day. If you're a creative person who likes to build new stuff and design your own life, you're at the right place. I'm Matt McLaughlin. Let's get going this morning. 3 things I'm grateful for: my financial security, delicious apple I just ate, and having lived long enough to experience some cool things. And today I'm going to talk about how not to give a damn. I want to talk about how not to give a damn because it's incredibly important if you want to be successful in business or in life. This is a skill you have to develop, and this really is a skill, and you can develop it. In fact, being embarrassed, failing, is actually a part of being successful, because if you want to be successful, you have to be outside of the norm, which means people are going to look at you and think, oh, that's kind of weird, whatever. So if you can learn this skill of not giving a damn, it means that every time you iterate the process of trying something new and then maybe being shut out or locked out or told that you're dumb or whatever, you're not going to emotionally shut down every time. You're going to learn from those experiences. So a quick story here. When I was younger, I had a couple of internet businesses, and this was before having an internet business was a thing, before Amazon was a thing, I think. I started these when I was 18 or 19, and I had them throughout most of undergrad. And one day, some guy came in to the room where I was working, and he said, hey, this is so dumb. Why aren't you out at a party? You're so weird, whatever. And that always stuck with me, that he just would have the gall to come up. I didn't quite understand what the heck his motivation was. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, I did actually end up stopping those businesses, not because of what that person said, but because of my own insecurities. Because what would happen is every time I would think about trying to make them work, I basically would have these words running through my head that told me, hey, you can't do that. Like, it's just, you won't be able to do it to run in the long term. You won't be able to hold through or power through or take the pain of running the business or whatever. And that insecurity of failure, of embarrassment, it really shut me down. Now, stopping was my choice, but the thing is, I didn't know back then how not to give a damn about failure. I wish I did, but that took some time. And if you want to learn to win over the long term, you have to learn how to not give a damn about failure. So how do you do that? I think you do it by observing patterns in your life until you realize that in almost all cases, failure and embarrassment aren't real things. So here are some things you can start to pick up on. You want to start to realize these patterns as you move through life, and you want to start to ingrain them in your thinking and your character. I'm going to give you 3 things here. The first is you want to reflect on past embarrassments. And the second is you want to reflect on the fact that you're mortal. And the third is that you want to think about past pain. So reflecting on past embarrassments means look at things that happened to you years ago that were really embarrassing and think, where is that failure now? It doesn't exist. If you were embarrassed by someone or someone laughed at you, where is that person now? Do you know them? Are they even alive? Do you even remember what you were embarrassed about? These things, they have a way of passing. And as long as you're not in jail, in trouble with the law, or doing something that's high risk of getting you physically injured, you're probably going to be okay. Even things that might scar you emotionally, you can usually get over those. And if you're smart, you can limit the downside of those sort of experiences. But being embarrassed or failing, even if it's a pretty spectacular failure, is not the sort of thing that you can't pick yourself up, lick your wounds, and move on from. The second thing, reflect on the fact that you're mortal. So 200 years from now, 50 years from now, no one's going to remember you, okay? You might as well just go embarrass yourself. Just try different things, see what works, be yourself, and figure out who you are. Okay, you might as well go through some pain too while you're at it. Go through the pain of trying to make it work, trying to make a project work for a couple years, and even if that fails, learning from that and trying to make something else work a couple years, okay? And if you're smart, learn how to limit your downside and amplify or leverage the upside so that even if you fail, it's not that bad. Okay, the third thing, think about past pain. Does the stomach ache that you had when you were a kid, does that still hurt? Does your first breakup still hurt 10 or 20 years later? If you're so young that you're still near your first breakup, you're not going to believe me, but the answer is no. In fact, there are times when you're going to look back and you're going to laugh at that experience. You'll probably think, thank God I didn't end up with that loser. And if you don't believe me, just wait 20 years. I should also take a moment to apologize to my first boyfriend here. You're not really a loser, but I'm just trying to make a point. And the point is that as you start observing these things, you're going to realize that failure isn't real. It doesn't exist, not in the same way as falling off a cliff exists or as being put in jail exists. As long as you're still functioning, as long as you're still alive, you haven't really failed. You can still recover and learn. And then once you start to realize that failure is an illusion and that it's just in your head and that embarrassment and things like that are just emotional states that you're feeling, you get a glimmer of what it feels like not to give a damn. And this is very freeing because this is when you can be yourself, you can try out new things, and you can not care so much what other people think, okay? So not giving a damn doesn't mean that you're being rude or disrespectful. And actually, people who are rude or disrespectful do give a damn. That kind of disrespect is usually a defense mechanism. You can be perfectly nice, you can be a great person to be around, but still not give a damn. What not giving a damn means is that you're willing to stick it out. You're willing to be weird. You're willing to be odd. You're even willing to have so-called friends, quote unquote, tell you that what you're doing is stupid or useless because you're not playing the same game as them. What you're going to start to realize is those people who are critical of you they're playing a different game, and their game is dumb. Their game is, I want people to like me. I don't want to be criticized. I don't want to stick out. I don't want anyone ever to tell me that I'm stupid or dumb because I could never move past that. And so that's your secret superpower, is that you are totally cool with people telling you that because you know that you can move past it and that you're playing a totally different game. Your game is, how many times can I iterate this process over and over again until I learn from my mistakes, until I build something that works, until I build that business, until I have that personal success. That's the game that you're playing. And in that game, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, or whenever, all those little things, those little criticisms, embarrassments, they just don't matter. They don't matter at all. And those people who criticized you, who are scared of sticking out at all, they're going to be right where they were 10, 20, 30 years ago. So to other people, it might look like you're making a fool of yourself a lot of the time, but those people don't matter because they're not you. Okay, so if you like this sort of stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, or however you like to listen. That really means a lot to me. And make sure you check out nobossninja.com. If you're a creative person or an entrepreneur or anyone who wants to lead a unique, abnormal, exciting life, that's the website for you. I talk about things I've done that have allowed me to live outside the box and lots of things I've learned about in business and personal development that can help you too. That's nobossninja.com. And this is Matt McLaughlin signing out. I'll see you tomorrow and have a great day.